So, can you explain open source confidently? If you can't, then that's why you're here. Let's talk about it. Don't be embarrassed. This is why we're here to all learn together. All right, my name is Corvallis Gates. Welcome back. Part four, part four, part four, part four. So go see the first three and check out the shorts, baby. Now let's go over encryption. So, encryption is the process of converting data into scrambled, unreadable code to prevent unauthorized access. Basically, you make it a secret, and then you pass that secret from a server to a client, which is a typically an endpoint. All of these words basically mean computer or phone, and back and forth. That's the gist of encrypted data. When you use banking, they typically encrypt your data. Whenever you're using passwords, it's typically encrypted. Password encryption goes through something called a hash, typically, and you can learn about hashes. Hop down in the comments if you want me to explain a hash. But an encryption is just locking the information, pushing it out, pulling back the information, decrypting it, reading it, making sure you keep it on the low. All right, IP address. So, an IP address, the easiest way to think about it is a home address. Your computer has an IP. That IP is the home address to your computer. I'll give you an example. If I put a letter in the mail, it'll make it to your home address because your home has an address. So when I send an email, it makes it to your computer because the computer has an address. Email, mail is the same thing, same concept. But it's the unique identifier for your device on the network. You have public IPs, you have private IPs. We can get into public and private if you want to. Hop in them comments. An IP address is like a mailing address for your computer, allowing it to send and receive information over the internet. Location, 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 location. An IP address is the location of your computer on a network. Next, a firewall. So, a firewall is a system designed to block unauthorized access. When you get your password wrong, you also unauthorized access, or when somebody's trying to hack your password or hack your account, unauthorized access. So a firewall is that blockage. So your home Wi-Fi, for instance, it has a firewall. That's why you need to put in what the username and password is. That screen is a firewall. There are other type of walls too, paywalls and things like that. All of these, the idea is you have a blockage, and in order to get past that blockage, you need typically a username and a password. Those are the most common interactions with a firewall. So, firewall is to block unauthorized access. You see these screens all the time. Next, we're going to go load balancer. So, a load balancer is a device or service that distributes network traffic across a group of servers to ensure no single server is overworked, improves performance and reliability. Basically, a load balancer is like a traffic controller. If you see a traffic controller in the middle of the street when the street lights are out, they say, hey, this car can go that way, this car can go that way, this car can move this way, this car can move this way. And they make sure that everyone doesn't crash, or their attempt is to ensure that the traffic goes by in an efficient manner, which is what a load balancer does. So a popular e-commerce site, for instance, whenever they have a sale, a load balancer, it would handle all of that traffic and it would balance the load. So some traffic can go this way, some traffic can go that way. They typically work with something called packets. And if you want to learn about packets, hop down in those comments. But a load balancer, you could just think of it as a traffic controller. Middleware. So I mentioned this before in an earlier video because we talked about front end, back end, and I've heard someone ask like, but what is this middle thing or middleware? Here we go. So middleware is software that contains separate applications, allowing them to exchange data and work together. So basically, it allows for two apps to communicate. A real world example is middleware allows a company's inventory management system to automatically update stock levels on their e-commerce website. So when you're looking at a website, typically a website has the front end, which is the screen that you interact with, and a back end. The back end could be code, it could be databases, it could be a lot of things on the back end. That middle part is just the connection, allowing these two things to communicate. So that's what it is. It could be a thing or it couldn't be a thing. It's mainly kind of an idea, actually. All right. So get it. So Git is developers use something like GitHub to collaborate. I use GitHub all the time. People got the good scripts on GitHub, so I'll go over there, I'll look at them, and I'll take what I need. But this is how, as a industry, a community within like the whole tech field, we all help each other, we all communicate and collaborate, and this pushes development forward. So a version control system that tracks changes to source code, allowing multiple developers to collaborate on the same project without overriding each other's work. It's a way of everybody kind of collaborating. You may know these people, you may not know these people, but whenever someone develops something in the IT development space, we just all help each other. An easy one is like Linux. There's 3 different operating systems, which I'll talk about at one point, or hop in them comments. Again, hop in them comments. But Linux is an open source operating system. Mac OS, that's an operating system. Windows, it's an operating system. These are the 3 major operating systems. Linux is open source, so you can actually go and see what the source code is. Open source. Now we get here. And this was the hook word in the beginning, but let's talk about open source. So it's a very interesting thing, right? Git came before open source so that it can lead us here. Now, open source is software with a publicly accessible source code that everyone can inspect, we can modify, we can enhance. It's what the community is built upon. This is how you push progression. This is why, some of these tools have only been around 20, 30 years, but they have been world changing. And one of the reasons why they have been world changing is because when everyone comes together and everyone uses their head and everyone brings their different perspectives and point of views to a platform, we can all collaborate and come up with the best and most efficient ideas to help push a thing forward. So when you're using like a GitHub, or when you're using a repository that has a library of source code, this allows, first of all, you will not just change it so you can destroy it. It has to be accepted or agreed upon by whoever is like the head publisher of that. And if it's good and if it adds to the community, then it allows for us to push forward and continuously build on things. So going back to Linux, the Linux operating system is open source, and a community of developers contribute to its development and improvement. If you're using Mac, you are using a version of Linux. And even if you wanted to develop your own operating system, I would say start with Linux, get all of their code, and then go through it and change things in the ways that you want to change them. One of the biggest standouts, if you've ever used Linux, like Ubuntu, or if you've used Mac, you can see that the feel is the same. Like the Ubuntu, they have the applications on the left-hand screen. Mac just has it at the bottom. And it's just like you would have to use the two, but you can see the similarities and the ease of use, and it just allows for you to really know what's going on with computers. A lot of them have the same terminal, so with that, it makes it really easy for you to learn a couple commands and be able to use those commands no matter if you're in ZSH, or if you're in a Bash shell, or if you're in like PowerShell. So this community is one that invites all age, race, color, shape, size, literacy levels. And this is my, motivational soapbox to say, hey, come over here. Come over to this community. A lot of times you're welcomed. A lot of times your contributions can add to developing something that can be bigger and better than yourself. And that's really how I feel within this community. In this community, skills pay the bills. So whether your skills are your coding skills, your communication skills, your networking skills, your security skills, your curiosity, which builds skills, but skills pay the bills. It's an open community. Come through, have fun with us. You feel me? You see, we even like to dance, you know what I mean? And when you see this little penguin, this penguin is, that's like the icon for Linux. So welcome back. I hope that this video was useful. If it was, subscribe, like, do all the, the YouTubey stuff to help grow. But my intention is to help everyone to build and grow in their IT career. What YouTube did for me when I was first getting in is what I want to do for you. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, concerns, jump down in them comments, show some love, ask some questions. Let's connect. Good luck. I hope you get the job.